Hey guys, well, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Hanok. I'm a system administrator based in Boston, Massachusetts. And in this video, we're doing a tutorial on how to set up a virtual machine. Now, if you haven't checked my last video where I talk about the concept of virtualization and virtual machines, I would highly recommend you do so. I'll leave a link up here somewhere. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So for this particular setup, I have a Windows 10 desktop, and what I'm going to do is install a Type 2 hypervisor, which means it's hosted on an existing operating system. So in this case, I'm going to install an application called VirtualBox onto my computer. If you remember my last video, a Type 1 would be a bare metal hypervisor. That would mean instead of having Windows 10 on my computer, I would install a hypervisor directly onto the hardware. But in this case, it's a Type 2, so I'm just going to go ahead and Google VirtualBox. I'm going to go to their website, look for some downloads. And because I have a Windows system, I'm going to go ahead and click Windows. If you have Mac, you obviously go over the OS X. And then if you have Linux, you look through the Linux distributions. So you can see this is going to install a .exe file. I'm going to go ahead, launch it. Go through the installation process. I don't need any of these. I'm just going to wait for this to install. So I'll wait for that. One thing to note is that you'll need to enable virtualization on your in your computer BIOS. So in my case, here's what I did. So here I'm spamming F11 and F12 so that I can get into the BIOS menu. I select Enter Setup. I actually had a hard time finding where the setting lived, but luckily my BIOS allowed me to search for it. So here in the search menu, I just typed in VM, and you can see SVN mode is already enabled for me. If it was disabled, you just need to enable it. Also, I believe instead of SVM, it might say AMD V on your system. Or if it's an Intel CPU, then it might say something else, but pretty similar. You just need to look at your own BIOS and figure out the correct setting to enable. Okay, this finished downloading, so I'm going to go ahead and click Finish. And then on my virtual machine, what I want to do is install Ubuntu on it, just as a demonstration. Obviously, you can pick any different kind of operating system, although some might be harder to get an image for. So I'm just going to go ahead and search for Ubuntu ISO. I'm going to go download Ubuntu Desktop. I'm going to do the LTS version. I'm pretty sure the LTS version just means it's supported. I'm going to go ahead, download. This is going to take a little bit, I think. So while that's downloading, I'm going to open up VirtualBox. I'm going to go ahead and click New to create a new virtual machine. I'm going to name it Ubuntu VM just for as an example. Yeah, this can live here. Actually, just because I have a bigger hard drive on the D volume, I'm going to go ahead and do it there. Yep, type Linux, Ubuntu 64-bit. So if you don't have the virtualization enabled in your BIOS, like I mentioned earlier, you're probably gonna need the 32-bit version, but otherwise you can just keep going with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and press next. I'm going to give around 4 gigabytes of RAM, just so there's no performance issues. Go ahead next. Yeah, this is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and create this. And this can be fine as well. Yep, it'll be dynamically allocated. That means it only uses what it needs up until, and then it'll automatically adjust the size you need based on what the maximum fixed size you give it. That way it's not using your resources when you don't need it to do so. So I'll go ahead and click next. 10 gigabytes is fine for this. Go ahead and create. There we go. So we have a virtual machine. Now I'm going to go and check on the ISO. So it looks like it did download. So I'm going to go to settings under the virtual machine. I'm going to go to storage under the controller IDE where it says empty. I'm going to add my ISO that I just downloaded. So I'll go choose a disk file, Ubuntu in my downloads folder. And then I'm going to hit OK. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and start my VM. Okay, here we go. Just gonna go through the installation process. So I'm gonna hit install Ubuntu, English, sure. Just gonna go ahead, continue. Give it a bit of time. Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and install. Yeah, hit continue. Yep, that's my time zone. Okay, for my name, I'm just gonna say Enoch. Sure. Password, I'm just gonna give it a generic password. Hit continue. Okay, that installation took forever, but it is done now. It is needs to restart, so I'm just gonna let it restart. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, oops. What I need to do is remove the installation media because if you can see right here, the boot order is the floppy, then optical, then hard disk. That means it's trying to reinstall it. So I'm just going to go to storage. Potentially. Let me power this off. Go back to settings. Go to storage. Oh, it's empty. Okay, let's try starting it. Maybe I was going crazy. Okay, maybe I was wrong. I don't know. Looks like it's gonna boot up. All right, here we go. I'm gonna log in. I'm gonna enter my password. There we go. Done. Okay. All right. That was a bit more tedious than I thought it was going to be. I really should have just downloaded the server version. So that's it. I mean, this is an Ubuntu desktop. Yeah, it's going to try a software update. There's no need. I'm just going to open up a terminal just to show you. Now I can ping Google. There you go. Do Linux commands, you know. If your goal is like to learn Linux, this would be a good way to just install a VM. But one last thing I would mention is that if you notice this little box, when I try to resize it, it doesn't, automatically resize with the window. So to fix this, what I'm going to do is go to devices, go to insert guest edition CD image. Hopefully I should get a pop-up. Yeah, I'm going to run it. Give my password. Okay, it looks like it finished. It says press return to close this window. It's gonna, and I think nothing will happen until it's powered off. So let's see if we restart it. And hopefully this time around, when I scale it, it should auto scale. There we go. It's fixed. Yeah, so and that's it for this video. Hope you got some value out of it, and if you did, like and subscribe to this channel. And yeah, until next time, peace.